Yeah, I would like a little bit more of something that can deal with the Ari and sort of shut it down. So I don't mind the Orion in sort of isolation, and I think it fits into the comp very nicely. I just would have liked an answer to the havoc that Yada's going to cause. I'm going to still throw it to Cerberus because there's nothing really preventing him from popping off, but keep an eye on Tryndamere. Tryndamere can always ruin a game.
Tryndamere ruins lots of games, basically every single one that he's in. But Marby, thank you for your input. We'll be talking to you after this game or before the next one, depending on the results. Myself and Rebel Fox bring you all the action here in the VCS as we go on to Summoner's Rift. And as you can see up in the sky, it is Cerberus taking on Team Secret. Nothing, no flashes being burned early in this game.
Not this time. Nothing too crazy about this game. The Ari not getting punished basically at minute number 1. I really hope that Boss builds Gore Drinker. I've gotten to see it exactly 0 times, but I know that it was absurd for exactly this patch and no other ones in the future. And against the Tryndamere specifically, if you build Gore Drinker, then you can have fun ruining a Tryndamere's day because it gives you better sustain than what like a shield bow might. When it comes to the pure on-hit damage. So, a Tryndamere gets on top of you as Graves, usually you go, oh no, Tryndamere. But then you hit Gore Drinker, and all of a sudden the tables are turned, because all of a sudden you've done some damage, you've gotten a massive heal back in your back pocket, and then you can try cutting him out afterwards immediately with the rest of what you got in your kit. So I doubt it happens, because Boss seems like the kind of person that wouldn't actually build that, but it would be really cool to see it happen.
Sure would be, if he's aware of the tech. I certainly missed that. So we'll have to keep an eye on the Graves build. Always good to see some variety in build paths. Artemis have gotten the early crash, unsurprising, even up against the Lover's Lane.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think makes them value this Xayah so highly? You mentioned the concept of the self-peel, which makes a lot of sense, but do you really think that's it? They picked it R2.
Yeah, I think it's, again, the thing that actually sticks out to me is that they banned it away when they first picked Jinx, which makes me think that these teams have figured out that, like, the Xayah is good into the Jinx. For the lethality build primarily, because obviously it's the area that's come out. Wow! Oh, Artifact, you absolute menace!
That's a solo kill. That should not be happening.
This is a level 2 solo kill. What happened in mid lane to cause a level 2 solo kill?
With no ignite? What on earth? How has that happened? We need a replay.
Yeah, I really hope we get one because I really want to see what happened right there. Although, I wouldn't be shocked if they were caught sleeping completely, even the replay ops, right? Because how are you ever going to guess that that's going to happen at the beginning of the game? Not only a solo kill, but an Orianna getting a solo kill at the beginning of a game is kind of insane.
Penguin moving in, wants to secure his blue buff, does it well. No, never mind. I think Fook did steal it away. Yeah, he smited it to like 8. And then Fook managed to follow up with one of his own. Zhu Hao is here. Currently, Cerberus have the numbers advantage, so we need to be very careful. Sorry, Team Secret have the numbers advantage, I should say. Cerberus need to be careful as Penguin, dancing in and out, manages to survive. Artemis will get excited. He's still throwing rockets in, and now Yado's arrived with a charm. It's a burger flip in the bot lane, and currently McDonald's is making its money well. As they've picked up another kill, Team Secret are getting cleaned out. Zhu Hao low, Yado lower as he goes down. Now it's on Artifact. He could pick up a lot of kills here. It's a double. It's double buffs.
So close, passed around during the course of that fight. Both Cerberus and Team Secret go back and forth quite a bit, but it is Artifact once again making himself known on the bottom side of the map to be able to claim that win for the side of Team Secret. So close was Artemis to being able to take over, so close was Yado to being able to take over a fight like that and to just win out in the process, but unfortunately not able to do so. And now just about every single summoner on both sides is completely burnt off the table now. I loved what Ron OP did to start this fight because it put Penguin into the wall. It was a lot of CC, and it got Artemis. He was so close on that auto attack to getting that kill against the Hecarim. That would have set him off on such a good foot. Here, Yado threw a Q that I think was mispositioned. It took so long to kill Eddie, and that little bit would have probably made the difference between one extra auto attack on a Zhu Hao and not the extra auto attack on a Zhu Hao. And that probably would have made the difference, at least up until this point, where Artemis ends up throwing last rocket into him. It was a very small game of slim margins that ended up getting won out by Team Secret right there. Large part of that due to level differences off the back of that blue steal that came through. Cerberus taking a bad fight right there, getting the bad end of things.
Yeah, for sure. And it really was just a game of inches. That Airy... Wait a minute. Airy on Xayah?
Yeah, that's the lethality rune that you usually go for, which
true.
is weird. Yeah.
It is very weird. It always catches me off guard.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, that shield came in really, really clutch, and now they have a 3-0 Orianna at 6 minutes. This is the VCS we know and love.
This is fantastic. This is the burger flipping. This is the not waiting for 15 minutes to actually start fighting. This was just an immediate play in the entirety of the game. And Cerberus is willing to take it, I think, as a combination of both hands difference, but also just, they're confident in their abilities. They're up a game. They're up quite a bit in terms of game score and things. They're trusting in their ability to actually accomplish quite a bit. And perhaps a little bit overconfident. The one thing is they did put Hecarim behind. Bottom lane, there's a bit of action, but I think this is going to fizzle out, or at least it should.
I don't think it will, as in they go, and Artemis goes down. Ron OP, I think, will be following him as well, because Eddie's been chugging some pots. So yeah, these birds are going to get themselves a steak.
I think he just headbutt Eddie back into his own EDC. Artemis needs to feel a little bit trolled by Ronopi right there, because not only did it put Eddie in position for auto-attacking, but it also repositioned for the feathers to be in a much better place, because I'm pretty sure Artemis was actually shifting up in that fight, up towards the river, specifically to avoid the feathers that had been put down by Eddie during the course of that fight. And yet here they are, Ronopi, trolling his ADC by repositioning the Ahri freely. There's no flash, there wasn't a heal quite yet for Eddie either, there's no Gale Force to reposition to get the feathers in the right place. So it just ends up being Ron OP kind of not having a great play right there. Again, on the Alistar, the first time he got caught, he had an okay combo into Penguin, but right there, kind of costing himself a 2-2.
Yeah, we'll have to get a replay to see how disastrous the Alistar play was. Oh, no.
Penguin, go! No!
Oh, no. They're going in onto Artifact, though, so they will be able to get a shutdown there. So, a good firing back by Cerberus. But, Penguin, you should have stolen that buff. That was a clanger.
His entire jungle?
Caught out.
Oh, actually,
yeah, he should be going down. There should be another kill for Fook. Yeah, the Lee Sin, doing well.
Nice. Extremely well played right there. Good job by Fook, who, I mean, all things considered, with the rest of the map going the way that it is right now, Fook is actually having a decent game, because you've seen 4-kill participation. It's 100% for the entire map. Got the Ahri out of the hole that Yato was sitting in at the beginning, with the 3 kills going on to Artifact, and right there as well, punishing a bit more of the map, trying to help out the bottom side to the best of his abilities, and putting Penguin in a pretty decent hole, because right now the Hecarim, really low econ compared to what the Lee Sin is at, very low econ for this point in the game. 39 CS at this point for a Hecarim is kind of like really low.
What on earth did you just do, Zuhao?
Maybe he thought Fook 1 wasn't around. Maybe he didn't think like Ron OP was around. Maybe
he W'd. I think even if Ron OP is not there, if Ron OP is not there, he probably doesn't die, but he also doesn't accomplish anything. So why take the risk?
I don't know.
I mean, he is playing Rakan. Rakan's, a bit of a himbo, so he's just playing into it.
I suppose. That is definitely a possibility. Nice Rift Herald take. They were able to recapture top river, and they were able to push out mid lane as well, so that's kind of nice. They've actually full swapped. They've given Xayah complete control of bottom wave, and the return is that Artemis is going to come up the top side and start putting some damage into top tower. They haven't quite yet got the Alistar up there, and I'm guessing they're going to try to put the Rift Herald top as fast as possible here, but there's no defense to bottom lane. They have only bled out plates to Eddie at this point, which is a little strange to me. I'd like to see this play get accelerated so they don't just lose the Rift Herald for 2 plates and have Eddie end up winning the play for everything.
Yeah, it's not like they can dive either. It's a Tryndamere with backup. They actually need to be careful because Artemis could just get choppity chopped. Ron OP's level 4. 9.5 minutes into the game. They go in with the headbutt pulverize. There is a lot of damage. They're going to force out the Undying Rage, but now Penguin moving in. Fook 1 taken low, but Cerberus actually played that really well to make Secret use resources, so they will get the safe Herald drop. If they want
Hero burnt the ultimate, And Penguin still has the ultimate, but again, they're so low that it might not be an actual play to come through.
There we go. They headbutt the Hecarim into the back line. It's very dangerous, but it doesn't hurt them too much. Just a 1-for-1. Good charm out of Yado. They go in onto Artifact. The Shockwave is a Sombrero. Penguin is on a sliver of HP. He gets zapped. As Artemis picks himself up a kill. Cerberus, the decision-making I don't think was perfect, but the hands are still good.
Really solid from Cerberus to be able to win out a situation like that. Again, I love the beginning of that play where they're able to deny Penguin immediate access. They denied Hero's ultimate from actually having an effect. And because of that, now you get to trade potentially. That's pretty rough. Zuhao's actually going to find an engagement on Artemis.
Hero's not interested, not without ult.
No. Not surprising either. The problem is this wave's pretty scattered. They should be able to kill the Rift Herald off, so it is not a tower. So they did trade any exclusive gold on the bottom tower and first tower gold in exchange for everything that happened on top side. So they did even up the kill count, but they didn't, I don't think, get as much gold into the carry as they would have wanted to right there. Artemis did get quite a bit, but Eddie, of course, being the massive beneficiary here for the other team. And this is where everything kind of started, or at least the back half of where everything started. I want to see. Okay, the Glacial was actually really big from Rana P. You could see how long the Hero and Penguin spent on that. So it was not only the slow, but also the damage reduction. And then Yado following Artemis was humongous. Denying the Shockwave at the very end there was also big because did quite a bit of work. I love that Shock Blast because that was about as quick as you could get, or about as far away as you could get, and potentially still snag that kill away. So Artemis getting a couple of kills during that play. Again, the gold back and forth between he and Eddie is going to be something to pay attention to. Although in a game like this, I think the Jinx is just better at full carrying than what the Xayah is going to be capable of doing.
I agree, but still, Eddie has been a good player for Team Secret. He is set up for success. Though, yeah, he is up against Artemis on Jinx. On the other side of the map, Team Secret, they picked themselves up that first Drake. So Team Secret kind of doing everything right at the moment.
Yeah, Team Secret's feeling very competitive at the moment. They've got Artifact into an okay place. We're waiting for the Ludens to get completed first, and then all of a sudden the Orianna's probably going to feel very effective in a game like this. Top lane is, I think, a little harder, or I guess solo lane is what we'll call it, because they've been swapping around the map. But Pos has the Hull Breaker completed, so it's a little harder for Hero to just outright push against Pos, especially when the sustain comes through on the second item. So I think Hero's best opportunity to take advantage of this lane is going to be in the coming item, because he should finish Gale Force. Almost certainly that should be the item completion. You can see Artemis takes quite a bit of damage from Eddie right there. Oh my goodness, just the Qs, the procs. Goodness gracious.
He's taking a whole lot of damage. Now, there is a little bit of maths that you've ignored.
Mm-hmm.
There is one pirate versus no pirates.
This is true.
So, Cerberus is pretty far ahead when it comes to controlling the 7 Seas. Now, I don't know how that translates to Summoner's Rift, but I'm sure it has an effect.
Yeah, L plus no pirate hat plus no wenches, something like that, to the effects of Team Secret, unfortunately, yeah. Made in this. That's the Voyage, by the way. That wasn't an Elden Ring joke. It was both, but I get to claim both. Anyhow, it doesn't really matter. We're waiting because Cerberus has actually kept their bottom lane on the top side just as often as they can, because I think they want to compete for second Rift Herald as well.
Eddie,
my goodness.
Eddie, well done there, using the ult and the flash to get out, doing a lot of damage to Ron OP as well, but still, it's quite a few resources used. Yado fishing for a charm, doesn't land it, but they will pick up this tower regardless and break open the top lane.
Yeah, nice play coming out from Cerberus as they're able to kind of hand fist down this top lane very effectively. They put a bunch of pressure into Eddie. You could see the reason why the Xayah is pretty valuable in a game like this, because you can see with an Alistar, with an Ahri, and with a Lee Sin in the back pocket, there's quite a bit of dive potential, and so that ultimate is a very valuable tool when you combine it with the flash with a Gale Force. But in this case, there's no Gale Force; it's just the flash and the ultimate and the heal. And Eddie's able to get out on his own. It is unfortunate the Feather Pull ended up not tagging Ron OP for the most part, because again, there was a lot of damage thrown out immediately, but without Aftershock, it's a lot harder without ultimate for Ron OP to live that combo. And right there, that probably would have been a full execute or close to it had Eddie landed 3 feathers, whatever the system might have been. Might have changed that play. What a play!
What a play by Fook. Puts Eddie into the grinder. Artemis gets the shutdown. And that are those Lee Sin moments that this champion can do. And that's why he's always meta.
That is a massive play from Fook One. Not only as a phenomenal display of his abilities and talents as a jungler, which is something that we had questions of, obviously having to replace Ego. But the biggest thing is the intelligence behind a play like that, because Eddie is down the summoner spell, Eddie is down the ultimate, and there's not a lot of cooldown reduction in his back pocket yet. Boss and Hero going at it, but it just doesn't matter. It's too fast. But it's such an incredible play coming out from Fook One right there, because again, it's the punishment of the defensive summoners and the defenses that Eddie burnt on the top side that are getting used against him. Because otherwise, a play like that doesn't happen. You press ultimate as Xayah, and all of a sudden that play completely gets thrown out the window, and Fook One's just behind enemy lines way too deep. But in this particular sense, his ability to punish that kick the Xayah back into his own team, really effective. Very, very smart stuff from Fook One.
But they do. Hero walking these minions in. Poss still just playing Weed Whacker. This is Graves. He kills minions, and then he kills more minions, and then he kills some more minions. We have a fight in the jungle, though, as Rakan has gone in. Artemis has to kite this one out, but does it well. Heroes already pressed the ult, so they're just buying time. Ron OP, good flash. Fook, again, finds Eddie. Uses the Featherstorm this time, but he's between two towers. Has Poss moving in on him. Artemis, play it safe. They do it well, and they've cleaned up 3 kills, Rebel.
What a play right there. It's a combination of Fook, who's able to get into the backline. Poss also finally enters a fight and is able to accomplish quite a bit. The Graves gets to step outside of his natural laning phase and start to actually make an effect across the map. And that combined with all of this dive that they put into just making sure Artemis goes down, it means that everybody on the side of Team Secret ends up punished, because the only member that can put out damage in the course of this little kind of cubby way is mostly the Xayah, who focuses way too heavily on trying to go forward in a fight like this after having got headbutt by Ron OP. You can see, look how far Penguin went in, wasn't able to get anything with the immediate E, there wasn't much. Ron OP ends up getting jumped onto by Eddie because he got pushed back, unfortunately, into him, but it ends up leading to nothing, and the other side of the fight just gets won by the 2 divers that had already come in way too late. It's incredible stuff that Cerberus is able to find out Team Secret in their own jungle. They're able to deny them a lot of the play that they were looking for right there. Nobody was able to get focused down enough.
But they weren't. Poss will manage to get back. Hero can't stop him in time. So now Cerberus back in their element. It was a very, very sus early game, for sure. But no matter, they recover, and Team Secret are on the back foot.
It's a position that Team Secret find themselves in where, again, they've got this Xayah to pair with an incredible combination of Hecarim and Orianna, but they really, really need to start using it, right? We haven't even seen a combination of a Hecarim with an Orianna ultimate in one fell swoop against the side of Cerberus. They haven't been the ones attacking. For the most part, they found themselves in that rough position just seconds ago, and they did the best to get out of it. But Cerberus are the ones that have been making most of the attacking moves since the very beginning of the game, which I think is problematic when you've got the Hecarim in your back pocket. So to me, I really want to see, especially now that Penguin's on Chem Tank, you've got a lot of move speed behind you. Ludens is done for Artifact. You can get a lot of work done with a solid Shockwave alongside an ultimate coming in from a Hecarim. So if you can put those pieces together, things get a lot better. Especially, again, Xayah, when you get feather stacked and you get the feather pull against multiple targets, when you have these big AoE ultimates, things, health bars are just going to get absolutely ripped through, especially when there isn't a member on the other team that's really situated to take that much damage in one fell swoop.
So, Team Secret, is the Tryndamere split push a win condition? Or does Graves neutralize it?
It seems like Poss is doing fine neutralizing it. It doesn't look like Hero's been able to capitalize on this. I wanted to see this break point right about now, because the Gale Force is done. The Gale Force was done, I think, before any sustain has actually been purchased by the Graves. This is the only opportunity that Hero's really going to get in the game to try to make a massive jump over Poss, because once the shield bow is done, there is almost no way that Hero's going to be able to full engage before crit is just done, and he's just killing him with 3 or 4 auto attacks anyway, which is where most Tryndameres end up at the end of the game anyway. So it's a position where Poss feels like if he gets to second item, he's going to be able to stall through second item, and at that point, the split push is just too late for the Tryndamere. Oh, actually, we get quite a bit of fighting on both sides.
That we do, as Penguin's taken very low, but he lives for now. He's got the shielding. Artemis finally gets him with the rocket, gets excited, charges on in. They are doing a decent job escaping at the moment. Hero presses the Undying Rage, but he's really got no one to give the chop as Fook dashes over the wall. Artemis, maybe don't present yourself to a Tryndamere. Ooh, really ugly there, but he does finally go down. But now without the Jinx, Cerberus is without their carry, and they lose a second kill.
Yeah, 2 for 2, all things said and done through the course of the fight. I gotta give props to Hero, who survived much longer than I thought that they would with the ultimate, just because they pressed into the middle of the fight. Everybody wasn't expecting it. Dropped the Lee Sin enough health to be able to kick him out of the fight. Ended up finding a kill up against Artemis, which I think is pretty big. The only thing is, like, Hero, if he dodges the last Q and gets out of that fight, that ends up being a massively winning situation, but unfortunately not going to be the case. But you could see the power is there. Like, Team Secret isn't completely out of this one if they're able to get their members together. How long did it take for Penguin to actually fully die? It took a lot of expansion for Cerberus to be able to fully capitalize with the amount of space that Team Secret can actually own. If they've got the ball positioned and they got the feathers positioned correctly, it's really difficult for Cerberus to encroach upon the space of Team Secret while those cooldowns are available to punish them. So it's something that Team Secret can definitely continue to play around. I love the way that they just did inside of that jungle.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a strange mistake out of Artemis. Very uncharacteristic of him to just sort of walk up to a Tryndamere and die. But whatever, it happens. You have to give him a brain fade every now and then. Cerberus is still in a good position, though the gold lead has closed. Dragons are split. So we've got a game on our hands.
We really do. And the ADCs are on similar itemization, although, again, the Jinx is the crit variant, so on third item, all of a sudden things get a lot more painful, I think, for the side of Team Secret. The more interesting one, of course, though, that I'm tracking is again, Hero versus Boss, because there is still an opportunity. Now there's a Vamp Scepter done, but it's not impossible for Hero to just run at Boss and I think do damage, or at least have some significant damage. It just needs to consider that. Although, again, working into Hullbreaker minions is a little bit difficult. This should just be the tower, probably, that Boss gets up against Hero, because he should drop him more than enough health.
Yeah, that's a very easy tower take. Fook is coming down. Poss is probably desperately telling him to go away. He just wants to hunt alone. The less interaction with other champions Poss has this game, I think the happier he is. He's just playing Farming Simulator.
That's just true of Poss in most games, I feel like.
True.
Like, if you had the opportunity to play 1v1 at like a professional level, that's just what Poss would do, right? That's what he likes to do the majority of games.
Can't get in. Cerberus just happy to give that dragon up. It's fine. It's just a second stack at 22 minutes. It really doesn't matter.
Pretty much not at all. It does set up, of course, for third, which does eventually mean something. But ultimately, yeah, that stack absolutely does nothing. And because of it, they did get mid-push, but it's eviscerated by Eddie, so that doesn't matter at all either. Ultimately, I feel like this game is so slow that what we're going to end up caring about is just a fight that ends up going awry for one of these two teams when they make a bad decision.
It is.
That's the way of the VCS, I suppose.
It's very funny that you say this game is so slow when we're just under 1 kill per minute. You gotta love the VCS. And you're not even wrong. You're not even wrong. Because you've got to love the VCS. This region. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Not at all.
Yardo picking himself up a blue buff. He has been pretty good on this Ahri once again. Not quite as impactful as game 1, I think, but he still has plenty of time to catch up.
Yep. So this is actually the point that I kind of want to see Team Secret immediately go for big plays. And by big plays, I mean they need a 5-on-5. This is about as strong as Xayah's going to get all game. She's not really going to get a ridiculous amount stronger. She might get some more resistances, but that's the best that you're going to do. The 3 item spike, and especially since the 3 items that have been chosen by Artemis are the Gale Force, which I think is right. Rapid Fire Cannon is great for being able to use range advantage, and Lord Doms is really good damage. But there's no Infinity Edge, there's no Bloodthirster, and there's no Runans, so team fighting isn't quite as strong on this Jinx as it usually would be on most other 3 item Jinxes. So those two combined with one another, and then you also still have this massive Hecarim Orianna combination. I feel like if they're going to try to team fight at any point this game, this is probably the point you want to do it at. Yeah, this is the best you're going to get. Especially now, side laning has basically gone awry, just because Shield Bow is up for Boss. He's going to go into Death Stance almost certainly, and that means the hero basically has no more ground to stand on in the one-on-one, at least not for a little while. until like third, fourth, fifth item, that kind of territory in the side lane where he like just 2-3 shots most champions, no matter how much armor they have. So for me, Team Secret, this is where they really just want to go for a 5-on-5. They want to look. If it were me, I would be looking to try to either force on the next dragon against Cerberus, or I would be looking to bait them into a Baron buff and then attempt to turn on them, something like that. Just because those are the best ways to try to get Cerberus to go where you need them to in order to take a full 5-on-5, and that's what I'm looking for here.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. At the moment, Hero's just staying in the bot lane, which actually gives Cerberus the opportunity to start the fight. Zhuhao goes incredible, and he goes down, which lets Artemis get the speed, baby. He runs forward, takes down the Orianna. They let Eddie and Penguin go because they've got their eyes on a certain Baron Nashor.
Look at that. Look how fast it was that they were able to capitalize on this. You see that there's members on the bottom side of the map. You see that you have an opening to be able to attack, and that means that Cerberus, they are able to jump the timer that Team Secret should have been looking for in order to find a 5-on-5 themselves, and it meant that they couldn't really get their feet set, right? The shockwave, not burnt in that fight. The ultimate from Eddie to be able to put down a bunch of feathers and use them against the enemy team, not burnt in that fight. Now, Penguin's going to get denied too.
He tried. He had to try and get in. I don't... Fair enough. Whatever. You int for the chance. He didn't have his ult. So, whatever. They get the Baron. They kill the Hecarim. He's 1-5. Game one, they actually had flashes of keeping up with Cerberus. So far in game two, it's been Cerberus all the way.
For the most part, yeah. Biggest one being, I think, Fook 1 has been absolutely nutty in this game. Look at it. 15 kills, 16 kill participation. I know Fook 1, I think, actually won the award last game from VETV to get the MVP, and I would not be shocked if they gave it to him a second time, because it's just how incredible the performance has been. The very early game wasn't phenomenal from Cerberus, but it was Fook 1 who just kind of dragged them through the very beginning of the game. And all of a sudden, again, you're on 3-item Aria, you're on nearly 4-item Jinx, you're on incredibly split-pushing the Graves, who, by the way, is building towards armor item. I think it's actually going to be a Randuin's to prevent the crit damage from coming through because he doesn't want Hero to do anything. Yeah, it just means that there are no legs to stand on. Side laning isn't an option. Team fighting is no longer an option. The Baron buff is going to get them more than enough of a gold lead for anything that would go awry to not go awry because they've got more than enough gold to hit them with. It's super easy for Cerberus to just kind of walk this one across the line. If they need to wait 3 dragons to do it, they can, but I doubt they're going to have to.
Yeah, I really doubt they're going to have to. That would almost be a huge failure of them if they do, as Hero is trying to make something happen, but honestly, this Tryndamere is not doing that much damage. And in the meantime, Artemis is just taking out the tower. Ron OP gets hit by a shockwave, but he doesn't care because he hits the big headbutt pulverize. Eddie goes low, Zhuhao goes down, and Artemis... he's got red in his eyes. He's hungry for blood. Poss is taking on Hero, waiting out the ultimate in the Zhonyas. Can he actually get the kill? No, he can't, but Penguin can.
Well,
the rest of Cerberus move over, but they don't get anything more.
No, they do not. Thankfully, Eddie was there to try to prevent the mid wave, and so finally we get Hero actually taking a fight against Poss. At the last possible second, did lose the fight in the one-on-one, but Penguin was able to kind of sweep in and do something. As Penguin again had a really quiet game, and this was the person we were looking at before the series had started to really do some of the damage and to be able to attack against Cerberus in an attempt to push Fook. But honestly, it doesn't matter who's jungling here. It seems as though Penguin just would have gone silent no matter what. And now Cerberus, they pick up their second dragon. That doesn't matter all that much, but they did get mid inhibitor during the course of that process. So that's a really big pickup on the first Baron. It opens up a lot of the map for future objectives, especially in a little bit of time because the Baron buff is going to expire. Then all of a sudden you can start working towards your second one. And again, it's a 4-item Jinx at the moment. It is almost a 4-item Ahri who's going to be on the Void staff soon enough here. It's really difficult to deal with the position that Team Secret has found themselves in. They don't have the gold, I don't think, to even take a full-on team fight. Especially the way they've been playing it for the majority of the beginning of this game.
I think the one out that Team Secret have, and it is a thin out, don't get me wrong here. I think Hero might win the 1v1 now. He lost that last 1v1, but it was very close, and Poss stopwatched during his ult. He doesn't have the stopwatch anymore, so maybe there's an angle for Tryndamere split push. Now, if Cerberus lets that happen, I'm going to fly to Vietnam and get in a violent confrontation with their coach. But Yado, he's in some trouble, but he is just Ari. He's so mobile. He dances around. It's like he wasn't even touched. Eddie gets locked up, uses the Featherstorm, brings them back in. That's a lot of damage, but it's not quite enough. And here comes Poss from the other side. The Undying Rage is good. Artemis is in trouble, but the Everfrost will keep him alive. Tryndamere will go down. Poss distracts 3 to 2 for 2, but it doesn't feel like it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it. In the back end of this play is actually going to be a lot of Artemis, especially if this wave crashes and there's any support for it, but it looks like Zoohow's going to be back up in time to save the rest of this one. You can see the bits of little things that are actually working for Team Secret, right? Hero was about 1 step or 1 summoner spell. If he had Ghost, he almost certainly cleans up 3-4 kills in the back line. Artifact is maybe half an item from being able to burst out almost any member of this team, basically 0 to 100.
I really want to see. I want to see if this is the Everfrost coming back up. Or just Yado just not use it this whole fight. He just doesn't use it.
Yado didn't use it here. Yeah, he just didn't use it the entire time. I love this from Eddie, by the way. That ultimate into the Feather Pull was humongous to drive Fook and Braun OP. I thought it was going to win them the fight. Here, Hero gets onto Artemis. The Flash thankfully saves him. The Everfrost, again, also protects him at the last possible second, because that one auto attack probably kills Artemis, and it might reset to E to get him another kill onto Yado as well, which would have been huge. And like you said, the possibilities there. They still have openings for a game like this, because they've still got powerful members on the side of Team Secret. But Cerberus is still very much ahead. They're very much in control of the game. Just have to not give up fights like that. They have to use these defensive tools consistently to get themselves out of bad situations. So it's about Team Secret's ability to punish when those tools are down.
Yeah, the way I always put it is, when could I win this game? When could you put me on Cerberus and we'd still win? We're not there yet. If you put me in right now for Poss, we'd lose. So Team Secret still have a chance.
Tough situation to be in.
20 seconds on Baron.
20 seconds on Baron. And a minute 40 on the Dragon, which I think is also another important one. I'm not sure if we get a team actually like outright throwing a game over this next Dragon, but it will dictate who kind of has a lot more presence toward it, because they're going to be able to command a lot more around what is the next neutral objective that gets taken. If they can posture a trade for Baron for the Dragon to give up a 3-for-3 in exchange for Baron to push back against the other team, or what the situation might be. What's nice for Team Secret is with mid inhibitor down, they're going to be in mid most of the time pushing out anyway. So, it's not bottom lane where they have to be so far away from the Baron that it's really difficult to be responding down there consistently. Having the mid lane be the one that's down, obviously it's a lot of pushing power for Cerberus, but it's a little easier to respond to, and they're kind of just like making sure that everybody is here and around. They're not even going to try to split push with Hero right now, because the thing that they concern themselves with is primarily stopping the Dragon.
One hit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Crazy.
Sheesh, Artemis is doing some damage. Here comes the Hecarim, but he doesn't even get close, and that is a lovely Alistair combo coming out of Ron OP. He dies for it, but look what he does to the team. He keeps Artemis at full health. He picks up a kill onto the Tryndamere, and Team Secret are chunked out. This gives Cerberus an opening if they want it. Artifact still alive, no shockwave. In fact, no ultimates whatsoever on the map. But there is still a Jinx, which kind of counts as, I think, Cerberus's ultimate at the moment.
They gotta get in the pit right now.
They do. Fook is going very low. He's got a GA. There goes the Rakan, and there's the Baron secure. Well played there from Cerberus. Now Fook wants more. Can't tag Eddie, though, so he should be able to walk away. But Cerberus, nonetheless, claim the big objective.
Getting extremely close to these fights are getting much closer, right?
They are.
This Baron buff is a lot bigger than the Dragon is about to be, only because the next Dragon is going to be forced upon Team Secret, but they are comfortable taking a 5-on-5. Getting into the right position is going to be a lot harder, since the Baron is going to lead to probably mid inhibitor falling once again, if not even more happening across the map. But Cerberus, you can see that they do have to do quite a bit of dancing. They look like ballerinas around fights, just because Team Secret has to keep them on their toes consistently with the positioning that they're taking. Right, Artifact is doing really well at making sure the ultimates are going to tag in the right place. Penguin is throwing his body into the right place, kind of drawing a mild amount of attention, but he is extremely bad in this game when it comes to gold. I mean, he's tanky Hecarim, but he's not really tanky Hecarim. He's basically glue Hecarim because he just gets absolutely shredded on the way into a fight. At best, he's ball delivered for Artifact, and I think they have to use him as such because I don't think you can wait for Hero to get into a fight or Zuhao to get into a fight. You have to use those members more effectively to kind of make up for the fact that Penguin is just going to be shredded on his way in.
But you have to, I actually do want to give some credit to Team Secret. The fact that they're still in this. We didn't expect them to take a game off Cerberus. I don't think anyone did. The fact that they're keeping this game fairly competitive, not in the gold lead department, but when you actually watch them fight, it looks alright. That's impressive, no doubt. There's some improvement from Team Secret, as Penguin had to burn his ult just to get away there. Fook tags Eddie, but isn't going to follow it in. That would have been a little bit suicidal, but the Inhib under siege will be falling. Once again, super minions activated for Cerberus.
Yeah, top wave is a little further out, so Yato has to go push it. This should be the opportunity for Team Secret if they wanted to take one. I feel like they would have had to force a fight right there as Yato pushed in the top wave, but it seems as though they might be comfortable just giving away the top inhibitor tower, if not the top inhibitor outright. So they can compete for the next dragon, because that's going to be a minute until they come, or 3 minutes now until it comes up. It's getting tough to actually deal with this if you're Team Secret. They've got enough with the Feather Pole to be able to do quite a bit, but your wave clear is tied to a lot of your powerful abilities, and so it's difficult to clear these waves very effectively. You're going to have to look for a fight almost certainly to stop Cerberus here.
Hero trying to find himself a way in is just getting completely bounced by Poss, and look at the damage as Artifact will pick up that kill. Artemis, I should say, they're confusing. Hero has burnt the Undying Rage, will get chased off by Poss. Artemis with a good flash to get away from that shockwave as well as the rockets continue to rain. They go on in. Artifact will go cold, managing to buy some time, but the zap lands on in. And Cerberus in a very, very